welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. So excited to be with you on the weekend. A little Saturday, having a little fun, talking real estate with Ryan. And you know what today is. It's just a big Saturday in East Tennessee. You'll probably be having a little football party, like me and the fam, at 3:30 today. I know a lot of guys will be glued to the TV. Big game, Georgia versus Tennessee, and obviously our Vols. It's a very important game, Vols ranked number 1 in the college football playoffs, and we're excited to watch them today. Before we start that, we have a little real estate with Ryan, tell you what's going on in the market, and so excited to be with you. We've got a good show for you, as always, and I've got a lot of feedback from my clients, a lot of calls and a lot of texts and emails. I know the Feds just raised the rates just the other day, 0.75. I think that's the highest rate hike consistently since 2008. Don't worry, we're going to cover that, and that's what this whole show is about. So you've heard the real estate market's changing. Let's address 2 ways we can consistently, what I hear. 2 things that I hear consistently in the market, okay? What's really happening in the market, number 1, we're going to highlight. And then number 2, on the second half of the show, what can we do about it? Because there's going to be a lot of transactions and a lot of homes sold from now to the end of the year and approaching 2023. I was listening to another fellow agent that does some work up in New York, and that one of the articles that came out thought that the Federal Reserve rate was going to be dramatically lower in the first quarter of 2023. So we have a lot of different news out there, and we're going to square it up here with Real Estate with Ryan. We're going to talk about all the fun stuff, what's going on, what we can do, and believe it or not, busy market. We're talking about November, so we know November is very busy, right around the holidays. Is that kind of hard to believe, guys? Thanksgiving. You know, the other day I was looking at, where was that? Was it Home Depot? You know, Home Depot's got the Christmas trees there. They were weeks ahead. But somebody else already started the holiday campaign, and they had Santa out, and they started really super early this year. So it's the holiday season. Hard to believe that the year has flown by, and so much going on. But we got some congrats before we start our show. Congrats on a new listing on Copper Valley Road, over 5 acres out there in Halls. Great property, 2 different home sites, already been perked. Make sure you want to check that out. 1502 Park Lane, back on the market, no fault to the seller. Just didn't work out for the buyers. It's back on the market. Beautiful property, over 8 acres in Anderson County. It's got a full basement, 3,500 square feet plus. You want to check that property out. Panther Creek, same thing. Had a little issue with title work and some things. All that's worked out, and buyers back on the market. And 1616 Gillespie down in Knoxville, downtown Knoxville, okay? Make sure you check that. Total renovation of a property. Did a really great job on that. We got a new price of $289,900, and that's back on the market there for you. It's an easy show. It's ready for the holidays at the end of the year. Make sure you want to check that property out. Congrats to our great friends on Burt Newman. Large tract of land in Knoxville under contract. 3310 Melody Lane. Congrats in Maryville. Selling quickly. What, a couple of days? Couple offers on the property, guys. Yes, we're getting couple offers on the properties. Our marketing is bringing that still in today's market. Galloway Motel, that was a commercial property that we sold out there. Congrats to them on getting that property sold. We're excited for them. That's our congrats and our pendings and actives real quick. So let's get into our show. So much going on. And if you're tuning in for the first time, hey, maybe you don't know who this guy is on the radio that's talking. Well, my name's Ryan Coleman, owner, founder of Hometown Realty. And we do this little show called Real Estate with Ryan every week. We talk about real estate, East Tennessee, and why it's such a great place to live and raise your family, buy investment property, and so much going on. We love to be involved in any kind of real estate transaction that we can help you with, whether you're buying, selling, leasing a property. We're here to help you. We do 2 shows. We're on 92.3 FM at 11 o'clock. You can check us there, or 98.7 at 1 p.m. And if that all fails, maybe you're watching the game, no worries, we got you covered. Social media, we're on all the channels, Facebook, Instagram, and then, of course, we're on all of our podcasts. Now we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, you name it. Real Estate with Ryan is there, and we cover the real estate market. Hopefully, can help you with all your real estate needs if you need anything. So we're always here to help. Enjoy the show and enjoy spending time with you guys. Thanks for the vote of Knoxville. Best of Knoxville last week. We talked about that a little bit, but I really appreciate that. It means the world, both our company and individually. We got that award, and thanks so much. All right, let's talk about the show. Let's talk about the real fun stuff. You know, the news is on. We talked about it last week. And we have to watch the intake of the news media. There's a lot of things going on with the elections here in a couple of weeks. And the real estate market is a hot topic. There's a lot of things going on with the housing economy and the economy as a whole. Consumer confidence is obviously not where it was 6 or 8 months ago. Obviously, you say, well, Ryan, let's address those questions. What's really happening in the market? And I spent a little time with my office manager. We were talking about that. And she used to teach school. And a little smarter than I am. And she said, well, this is how I would do it. And I'd lay it out like this. I said, okay, I'm going to follow your guidelines. Let's do it this way. What is really happening in the market? And I think, it's a good question. And I don't think anybody has the perfect answer. But we know a lot of things are going on in the market. We just look at the housing market as a whole in 2022. We've had a wild year, okay? It's an exciting year, though. Exciting year. So we started out first quarter of 2022. I believe January, February of 2022, we had about 1,500 homes on the market. And if you remember, if you're in the market of buying, selling, or some of my fellow agents out there that we worked with, how difficult it was to find housing. For buyers in the market that's relocating here, it was impossible. And a lot of buyers were coming from other states where higher sales prices. They had a little more cash, a little more money, and they were bumping people out of the way. So it was a buyer war. Inventory seemed like before you could get to the property, it was sold. We were waiving home inspection contingencies, appraisal gap contingencies. We were writing these offers where we have all this, kind of unique language that says basically, I'll pay up to X and X dollars if you just give me the house. Well, the sellers were loving it. It's perfect opportunity. But the big segment of the market was what? A lot of my sellers, a whole bunch of them, usually they sell a home. We have somewhere to go. Right, I got to go somewhere. And a lot of people weren't moving out of state. A lot of them were downsizing. Maybe they were taking advantage of the market and we were buying that larger home. My families need some more space. We're doing one right now where they came here from Ohio, but they need more space. They got about 2,000 square feet, but they really need 3. And so even though the market's shifting a tad, okay, they're going to take advantage of this market because that may not happen the first quarter of the year. So we know the inventory was low first quarter. Well, now as the spring and summer season came on, that market continued to happen. But right around the summer, not a typical summer. We talked about it on the show before. So July was one of the months that kind of go back in record histories, that July as a whole was one of the lowest producing sales for real estate since I want to say 19 in the 80s somewhere. So it was obviously some sales started declining in the first couple of weeks in June. And then August had a rebound. And a lot of that was triggered by what the feds were doing. Just the other day, the feds are going to increase the interest rate. And basically that Federal Reserve rate has been passed on down to what? You, the consumer. It's going to pass over to the consumer. They're going to increase the rates, and what? That means we're paying more money for our mortgage. So our 30-year mortgage is going to be more money. Our 15-year more is going to be more money, and so that means it's going to cost more to buy your forever home. That home that was $400,000, now that payment could be what? Payment could be $400, $500, $600 more than what it was in the first quarter of the year. So that's the one thing that I think is affecting the market. Now, what's going into the last quarter of the year, these interest rate hikes have what? They've been continuous. So there was a pause in the marketplace. Well, okay, hold up. Maybe the feds are just going to lower it and we can be 5.5, 6. Well, they continue to push over 7%. And they may see in the 7s, mid 7s, who knows, they may go to the 8s. But that is where the market is. As a whole, what else is going on? Perfect storm. We have inflation that's running rampant. The government's printing money as quick as they can spend it. They're sending it to other countries, all right? And then, of course, cost of goods, services. Gas costs more money, right? Housing, more money. To rent costs more money. Food, everything you can think of, travel, anything you can think of that's involved is causing more money. Well, that's a strain on the economy. And one of the biggest ticket items that you can purchase is going to be housing. and your cars. And we're seeing a lot of that come into play. But it is an election period time. We know a lot of politics is going on. And so that's what's going on in the market where we're at today. We're going to talk about how we're going to deal with that and how we're going to address it. There's still a great housing opportunity in East Tennessee. There's a lot of homes that are selling and pending. We have about over 3,000 homes pending right now in the market, and we have a flood of buyers that are coming in here in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of opportunities. Stay with us on the second half of Real Estate with Ryan.
Success is achieved on the practice field. This is where I perfect my craft. It's hours of preparation to ensure that I am game ready.
Real estate's no different. It takes preparation and a solid game plan to achieve the best results.
Whether you're watching a game
or buying or selling a home, trust your hometown experts.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. All right, we're back after a break. Thank you for staying with us. Real Estate with Ryan. And we're talking about, obviously, the real estate market's changing. What can you do about it? We're going to talk about that in the second half. But before we do that, got a little vol update before we start. Okay, 60-second drum roll, please. All right. Well, UT's playing Georgia today, Saturday at 3:30. So you guys may be by the TV, hint, 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 watching the game. Obviously, it's #2 Tennessee playing Georgia #1, and UT has come out as the first college ranking at the #1 playoff ranking, and that is super exciting. Tennessee played Gonzaga last week. Obviously, that was big in basketball. Georgia linebacker Nolan Smith will miss the rest of the season with suffering torn pectoral. Tennessee basketball, really big. Home game. We've got Tennessee playing Tennessee Tech November 7th at 7 p.m., and that's at Thompson-Boling Arena. And then, of course, we have our Lady Vols, Ohio State, November 8th, 8:30. They're going to be away, so that won't be at home, but you can catch them on our website for more information. Keep in mind that we have all of our special UT giveaways. You make sure you follow our page. We've got a game to the Missouri game. We're giving away tickets all year. And we're doing basketball as well, both men's and women's. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our page, and follow us for all the up-to-date giveaways. Keep in mind, we also have exclusive Vol tours and what it takes to be a Vol and everything that goes in behind the scenes of what it takes to be a Vol. Exclusive for Hometown Realty clients. Make sure if you want more information about that, behind the scenes, Peyton Manning room, all the things behind what UT does, you want to check it out. That's on ryancoleman.org for more information. And that is your Vol update. Proud sponsor of the Vols, Hometown Realty, your Tennessee realtor. Okay, we're back in the show. That's a lot of information to get through there. All right, so we're talking about in the first half what's going on with the market, leading into everything that's going on. So there's just a lot of moving parts. And we've seen this in the COVID years. So with COVID, you see political, is it mask? Is it not mask? Is it shots? What's going on? Is it this? Keep your kids out of school, keep them in school. We're good, 6 feet. I'm not getting into that. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of moving parts. And when politics and moving parts are involved, it makes it challenging. And the biggest thing that's challenging is what? Consumer confidence. A lot of us are just trying to raise our families, run businesses, and it's expensive out there. Everything's expensive. It's hard to find good help. It's hard to get things done timely. A simple purchase in a store takes hours. I know you guys have been there. We had that frustration today where a simple task of purchasing something took 3 hours. So there's a lot of that noise and I don't say hostility. What would you just say? Just built up tension in the marketplace, which carries over to the housing market. I think, it's challenging because there's a lot of people in our industry And, which way do you go on mortgages or real estate or different things like that? So the consumer's unsure as well. But what I will encourage you in our section of what can we do and how can we solve it, I think the first thing that you want to do is look at it like this, kind of step back. And I say, whether we're working with a buyer or seller, the first question we ask is they call you and say, well, Ryan, what can we do to help? And that's it. First thing, what can we do to help you? What's your purpose? What's your goals? And how can we help you accomplish the move? So whether it's our great buyers that came from California and they're relocating over here and their parents are coming over here and they're working over at the lab at Y12, or one of our great seniors that we're helping now that's 87 years old, she's moving closer to her daughter and we're selling her house to move closer with less yard and maintenance, those things. And I think determining your goals and what you're trying to try to challenge or handle. Sorry, tongue-tied there. But that's your first thing. What's our goal? How are we going to do it? And what's the motivation to do it? Obviously, a lot of clients don't have to buy and sell right now. And, that always puts you in a better position. Always say, well, if nobody's kicking you out of the house tomorrow, you're in control. So that's an opportunity. But a lot of people in today's marketplace will need to buy and sell. There will be record number of sales in 2022 that will exceed 2021. We will see 2023 increase at least 5 to probably 7.5% home prices. We know rental inventory from where we're at now is more than likely going to continue to be scarce and hard for affordable housing. So we don't see any of those things changing. So we go back to our goals and why we're selling. Let's see how we can do it smart, efficiently, and the most affordable way to do it, especially if you're borrowing money. And seller, hey, if you can save money, be more efficient, put your home on the market at the right price, and have the right agent and team working for you, all those things work together. Let's start and break it down. Number one. So let's talk about if you're a seller. In today's market, the news, media, you may say, well, Ryan, I'm just not going to sell and I'm going to wait till the spring. Or I'm not going to sell and I may just wait till the market gets better. We had a great couple, a lovely couple, past clients of ours, and they're pulling the property off of the market. Believe it or not, they're moving back in the market, right, Nick? Moving back in the market, in the home. And they say, Ryan, we're going to get back in the market when things get better. But the challenge of the market is nobody has that crystal ball that's going to know when it actually is going to time to be perfect. And when it's a buyer's market, right, it's not as good for the seller. Well, when it's a seller's market, it's not as good for the buyer. So a lot of that timing in the market's very challenging. It's kind of like the stock market. You get the stock market and try to time it perfectly. You kind of think you get the stock and get an idea of exactly where it's going to be. And the next minute, there's a news article, something comes out and it drops. So it's almost, I tell you, on our end, we never try to time the market perfectly. Now, real estate lags a lot longer than stocks and mutual funds and things like that. So, what happened here, let's say in June, may not take effect until December. And I think you're seeing some of that. But that being said, once we come out of the political season and elections and everything goes on, there's still going to be a lot of homes sold. East Tennessee is so popular. There's a lot of people relocating this area for a lot of different reasons, and buyers that are coming throughout their whole U.S. So what we've got to do is, number one, first, seller, get with a great agent in your corner that can guide you in today's market. Real estate is so centralized, and it's centralized to, hey, I'm in West Knoxville. This is the market. I'm in Maryville. I got to know that market. How about Sevierville, investment market, cabin? What can I get for that property? How about waterfront, Ryan? Waterfront specialist. So you need an agent in your corner and a marketing team that's going to be able to reach, that has the reach that we need, and then also give the exposure and be able to net you the most money. That's number one. Number two, there's preparation in the walkthrough. I say, what's the walkthrough? We do this show every week. Hopefully you guys will call us and give us an opportunity, and we're giving you all different opportunities on our website, from our web address for a free home evaluation, to our text campaign, to just calling us. Because knowing and having your home with the right curb appeal, walkthrough, we all have some stuff, right? We all have some declutter. That's very common. So we want to make sure that in a market that's changing, we want to make sure that it shows the best. decluttered, depersonalized. Any tips that we can give you by coming out put you in the best position not only to get your home sold for the most money, but at less showings and sells quickly and makes a smoother transition, okay? Now, if you're a buyer in today's market, what are you going to do? Well, first thing you can do is get pre-approved. Know exactly how much you can afford. Now, the rates are changing, so let's not be sticker shocked. Let's know exactly where the rates are. Do we do a 15-year? Do we do a 30? How about a 2-1 buy down? There's different options out there. Believe it or not, the FHA rates are a little bit lower than the conventional rates. Maybe we need to look into our VA loan if you're a veteran. So a lot of options there. Get with a great agent. I tell you, number one, make sure you get a great agent, sign them to a contract. You want an exclusive buyer agency agreement. The great thing about these agreements, guess what? You don't pay the agent anything unless we help you find the deal. But you want to commit to an agent in this market. They're going to spend a lot of time and effort working for you to find the right property. They're your best investment in this market, from vendors, lenders, to changing guidelines, to finding the right properties. I can't tell you the amount of properties that we have off the market, investor deals. It is your number one asset. With a great lender, it makes a smooth move. And then, of course, now in the marketplace, finding properties with our technology to make sure that you get them before the other buyers do. Now, let's take a last minute to talk about renters, tenants, prospective buyers that maybe I don't want to purchase right now. What do we do? Well, first thing you do is get a budget, do some research, also connect with an agent that's in the marketplace so we can help you structure a lease and find the property that makes sense for you. Maybe a little extra legwork, but also having that pre-approval, strong deposit will put you in the best position that you need to be. You guys follow us every week. I hope we covered and enjoyed this show. A lot of things that we covered in a short period of time, but we appreciate you being with us. If you need more information, our number is 693-SOLD, or visit us at ryancoleman.org. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and guess what? Go Vols!